I think one of the biggest things you and I have believed in over this, decade-long health journey is just being able to build a relationship with your local rancher is one of the best investments you could possibly make in terms of the way you spend your money, your health, the food product you're getting, the system you're choosing to support. And the reason why a farmer's market is great is if you don't really know where to find a local rancher, literally, I promise you, if you just take your zip code and just say, go on Google and say local farmer's market near me with the zip code, I guarantee you could find a farmer's market 10 to 15 minutes away, no matter where you are in the country.
Yep.
And the farmer's market is just aggregating all these local ranchers and farmers. So when I moved to San Diego 2 years ago, I went to the farmer's market downtown, and that's actually how I found Perennial Pastures, because they were showing up at the farmer's market every Sunday. I got to meet, I first met one of Kev's employees, then I met Kev, and I could just ask him all the questions that I wanted around, like, do you vaccinate? Is your cattle grass finished? What type of cows do you use? Do you ever supplement with grain? Are they pasture raised? And then you just get to verify and try the meat and build that relationship. And that's the benefit of a farmer's market, is you're just putting all those people in the area in one central location. And then you can vet and build your relationships and choose who you want to source your food from.
Yeah, I love that. Also, I just wanted to mention this. We have a discount code for Perennial Pastures, which people can use. One of the benefits of having the show, and one of the things that we love, is the fact that we're able to provide resources to the listeners, and they can get some level of discount off of it. So
Definitely.
If you guys resonate with what they're doing at Perennial, go check them out. I think it's code Meat Mafia.
Code Meat Mafia.
Yeah, so check it out.
For a nice percentage off the order.
Yeah.
And it's just a cool relationship because, like we were saying, we've ordered from them when I was in San Diego, and I've worked with them for the last 2 to 3 years. And it's just really special what they're doing. But yeah, literally met them at the farmer's market. And to your point, maybe you go to the farmer's market, you find a great ranch, you just build that relationship, go direct to them. But if you're still like, where do I find a local rancher? Eatwild.com is an amazing website because there's thousands and thousands of ranches on there where you can search for the exact product that you want. Maybe it's meat, maybe it's pasture-raised eggs, maybe it's raw milk, etc. Pop your zip code in, pop your state in, and it'll show you a bunch of ranches. Totally. Also the Beef Initiative too, which is an organization that we love, that we've been connected with for a long time. They're super passionate about connecting you with your local rancher as well. So they have about 200 plus verified ranchers by state that are doing things the right way. So if you go to the Beef Initiative as well, you can search for local ranchers in your area too, and they're doing amazing work.
I love it. Just in terms of connecting with a farm or going to the farmer's market, what do you think some core questions people should be asking their farmer? You just ran through a few, but I think having the top two to three things to ask your farmer just as you get to know them a little bit better.
Yeah, I think you're just kind of looking for transparency and your ability to trust them. So I'm not going to tell you if you should prioritize grass finished meat or grain finished meat, but I think you should be able to just ask the rancher the question, do you guys supplement with grains? Do you finish them on grains? Do you finish them on grass? And be able to trust that you're giving you an honest answer.
Yeah.
I care way more about you connecting with a local rancher, even if it's grain finished, versus just blanket grass-fed meat that might be greenwashed from somewhere else, know?
Right.
So I think, getting an honest answer, I think maybe asking them if they would be open to you coming out to the farm. I think that's always a great indication if the farmer or the rancher is proactive about hey, we do monthly events out here. Hey, you can come do a farm tour or whatever. I think that's a great aspect to transparency. I think just asking them about the actual conditions of their animals and how much time are they spending out in pasture, and do they implement regenerative practices? I think those are all just good things to know.
Yeah.
What else am I missing?
Yeah, I really like the way that you put that. I don't know if I have much to add. Just getting the transparency is the most important part, man. Understanding, and if you get the sense that someone's trying to hide or withhold information from you, that's probably not someone you want to be having a relationship with. So, for me, it's much more about just getting the right information that what they're doing is what they say they're doing, and one of the ways to do that is asking if you can go on a farm tour or come check out the farm. That's a very easy way. That's a very common question that we've heard from several people. A lot of ranchers just say, hey, ask them if you can go onto their farm and see what their operation looks like, because anyone who has anything to hide is going to say, no, you can't come to the farm.
Definitely.
So
definitely. And when it's the right rancher, I mean, these ranchers are literally the coolest, best people. They're so passionate about feeding their local community.
Yeah.
And I think that's why we love talking about this, because we went through this mindset shift of just, hey, we're penny pinching. I need to go buy the cheap budget meat in the outer aisle of the grocery store, which was like a great phase one. And then phase two is, no, I want to take my hard-earned money and give it to this amazing person that's working so freaking hard to grow meat and raise real food the right way in a countercultural way to this industrial Franken industry that the entire U.S. has been swept up by. It's like these people are so countercultural. They're so passionate about making their local community healthy. And it's like this sacred transaction where, like the beef initiative talks about, you shake their hand, you have a personal relationship with them, they know the exact cuts of meat that you want. They're giving you discount. They're hooking it up. You're sending your friends and family over there. It's like this amazing, it's just this amazing sacred relationship that we shouldn't take for granted. And that's how it used to be. It used to be customer, processor, rancher. And now it's like 35 different touch points from industrial slaughterhouse until the meat ever hits your plate. And that's not natural.
Yeah. Yeah. It made me think, you're making me think of our conversation the other day with Kareem that we
my
had.
Gosh.
Which, this episode will be released before the episode with Kareem. But for anyone who doesn't know, Kareem is the founder of KG Barbecue, which is this insane barbecue place here in Austin, Texas. Egyptian, it's true art. So it's Egyptian fusion or Egyptian barbecue infused with, sorry, I'm saying this backwards.
No.
Texas barbecue infused with Egyptian flavor. And dude,
so good.
It's so good. But his story is insane. And he was just talking about this artful, like the art behind food preparation and how much energy and focus and determination and just like all these skills that he'd acquired over the course of his life were going into this one endeavor, which is to create this amazing fusion of food. And it took a lot of failure and a lot of iterations to get to that point. But then he has this art at the end of the day. And I think that the same can be said around raising high quality food.
Yeah.
Like these regenerative farmers that we've met. When I think about people like that we've gone out to talk to, it's like Will Harris, Jason Rick, these regenerative farmers, Joel Salatin,
Kevin
Munoz. It's like you see how they're approaching food production and the interconnection of these different worlds where they have chickens playing a specific role, turkeys playing a specific role, pigs playing a specific role, cows playing a specific role on the farm. Like they're orchestrating this amazing natural process, and there's so much art infused into it. And there's, obviously a lot of science infused into it, but it's artistic the way that they're piecing these things together. And then you contrast that with the industrial system. There's such a contrast between the godlessness in the industrial system where you're pulling out all of the interconnectedness, and it's just very A to B, very mechanistic in the way that the relationships are formed in the food system. And then you have this interwoven, interconnected system that's a regenerative system, and it's art. It's beautiful.
Yeah.
And I think that when you look at things in that way, you can almost view like the health outcomes that come from those two systems. It's like that farmer's putting so much time, attention, love into what he's doing. If you're eating that quality food, that type of food, you're going to be getting the benefits of all of that effort and all that attention.
Definitely. And I think one of the debates was always like, okay, well, how much more nutrient dense is grass-finished meat versus grain-finished meat? And this topic is still highly contentious.
Yeah, highly debated.
The cool part about this is that there are people like Stefan Van Vliet out of Utah State that are actually doing studies on regenerative meat, and they're quantifying the micronutrients of grass-finished meat versus grain-finished meat. And I'm not here to tell you what you should or shouldn't prioritize, because I think if where you're at is going to the grocery store and buying the grain-fed ribeyes and you're going to prioritize that over the industrial stuff, like keep going, keep crushing it. You're going to get into amazing shape. That's what I did when I started off. It worked super well for me. And where I've evolved to is if I have the opportunity to be able to connect with a rancher and buy a grass-finished regenerative product, I personally feel like I process and digest that food better. and my energy just feels elevated. Whether that's a placebo or not, that's just how I feel, and that's what I'm going to choose to prioritize. And there's also this intangible thing that you hinted at of just supporting the right system. Like, I don't want my money to go to some massive industrial farm that's getting their stuff from Brazil. They're slapping a U.S. label on it. They're breaking the back of the American farmer. I'd rather give my dollar to the American farmer as well.
Totally.
And you're willing to pay a premium, and you will pay a premium for that, but you will be supporting the right system, and you will be inheriting more micronutrients from the meat as well. So you're actually getting more for what your dollar is paying.
Yeah. And I think too, it's like getting the right gym membership too. Like if you're paying $1 to go to the gym, odds are you don't value that gym membership all that much. So when you're talking about your health, I mean, I'll speak for myself. I value my health higher than like anything outside of like, you know, my family and personal relationships. But it's like, you know, the things that you value, you should prescribe like the appropriate, you know, attention and value to it.
Yes.
And, you know, be willing to pay that price. And I know obviously it's easier said than done. And, you know, we all have our own constraints around money that exist, but there's nothing better than investing in something that's going to give you more and more energy and continue to have a compounding positive effect on your life.
Definitely. And once you've experienced these foods, it just comes down to like, this is now just what you do. You're like, look, if my food is 25% of my total budget or 30%, like I'm going to pay this because I feel so damn good.
Totally.
For me, paying 30% of my budget on high quality food is a lot cheaper than paying $400,000 worth of Remicade every single year like I was on for 6+ years. So don't convince me that it's more expensive because I know it's not. And I've just accepted the fact that like my entire family, my future family, my unborn kids, my future wife, like we will be eating like this forever. And if I have issues from a budgetary perspective, I better make some more money to be able to afford my kids to do that. And I think people should have more of that mindset.
Yeah. And yeah, that was a mic drop. So I don't even know. I don't even know if I can say anything after that.
It's the espresso.
Yeah. Are you still at a 5 or have you cranked up to like a 6 or 7 at this point?
I might be at an 8.5 right now. Well, I think we both just get so excited about this stuff because it's changed our lives and a lot of our friends and family members. And like, it sounds like such a simple playbook, but just eating God-given foods and cooking your meals and sourcing them well, like that is literally 90% of the playbook to get into amazing health.
Definitely. Yeah. Like the simple stuff isn't sexy, but it's the stuff that's going to pay you dividends over and over again. Focus on the basics.
What's funny is the simple stuff isn't sexy, yet the simple stuff makes you sexy.
Yeah.
Long term.
Oh, it's so brand. Can we brand that somehow?
Down.